All right, welcome to 135 Photoshop. What we're going to do is review how we patched this corner by using a clean area and then copying it onto a new layer and masking it. So this is the before and the after. Before and after. So you can see we were able to take care of a big piece by cleaning up a lower piece and then copying it and masking it. So let's turn that off and go back to our different layers. And you can see we have our background where we put all of our pieces together. Black and white that corrected a lot of the spots in the hair. One of our retouching layers, another retouching layer, curves layer for a little more contrast. And then we did a stamp visible. That's Shift Command Option E. And what that did was take all the information from the layers below and put it together on one layer without flattening, which is what we want to do. So once we've got that, we went to the Stamp Visible layer, and this is a pretty clean area in through here. It's not too bad, and I would say if you were going to try this, that you take a little more time and just get rid of some of the bigger stuff. But for all extensive purposes for the demo, I think this looks pretty good. Okay. You can also do retouching on the Stamp Visible layer. That's no problem. So Command minus to zoom back out, and we're going to pick an area that looks pretty clean and then move it up so that we'll cut down on some of our retouching and also really help with this very strange line and discoloration. I'm going to make a big chunk. So you're not going to use all of this chunk, but you don't need to worry about that. And hit Command J, which will jump it to a new layer. So you can now see that layer 1 is a copy from here. So you can get the Move tool, shortcut is V, and move that up a little bit. Okay. So we have a little bit of value difference, and we need to fix our edges. So click down in the layer panel to add a layer mask. Click. Let's name this. It's maybe top left corner fix. And then we're going to grab a brush. Now, in my brush, I'm going to have it not super hard. Mode is normal. Opacity is 100. And then I'm going to use the bracket keys next to the letter P to paint directly on there. So I did that on purpose, just in case you were wondering. This is the pixel thumbnail. This is the layer mask thumbnail. So if you have this selected, you will actually paint whatever the foreground color is. So let's go back up here. Make sure we have the layer thumbnail selected, layer thumbnail, layer mask thumbnail. And then with black and white, we will start to clean up some of our edges. So I'll usually go around the hard edges with 100, and then I'll hit 8 on the numeric pad, make the brush a little bigger, go in a little more, and then maybe hit 4 for 40 to go in a little more. And you can see that's starting to look pretty good. We do have a little bit of value change, a little bit of change in luminosity. So what we can do is right above the top left corner, fix, go to your adjustments and choose curves. And we're going to, our property channel, we're going to bring that luminosity value of that corner down by grabbing a little scrubby hand and dragging it down or up till it matches the rest. And that looks pretty good. Now, because this is a global correction at this point, it is lightening up the entire image. And all we want to do is use that for a local. So holding down the Option key and hovering between the top left corner fix and curves, you'll see a little box with a downward facing arrow. And if I do that, it creates a clipping mask so that the curves is only affecting that layer. Zoom back out. So now you can see it's probably pretty subtle. It is very subtle, but it's just lightening up that part. And if you need to go back in at any point, you can double click here, go back into your properties, maybe bring it up a little more, bring it down a little more, whatever you need to do to blend it. And then also at any point, you can go back down here to fix your mask. Okay, so that's a good way to start getting rid of big chunks like this. And this would be a pretty easy area to fix right here, and then maybe move that up here. So you can construct the background out of smaller pieces of cleaned up foreground.